Hello. 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 It's me. Um welcome, little pussycats. Welcome to a late night special report. News. First, let me. So, before I go into the subject that I am about to go into, I just want to say there has been a controversy about this film called Cooties, Cuties, Meuniers. That's the French version. You probably read about the controversy of this film. It's a French film, and it's the Netflix film Cuties, Meuniers. I think that's how you pronounce it. I only speak habla español. But anyway, people were mad about how the people were mad about the poster because it was the over sexualizing of children. But when you watch the film, listen, what I'm just trying to say is people need to watch this movie, Cuties. It's actually talking about exactly why people in this country are complaining about the over sexualization of children due to the mass media and social media and what have you. And so that's what the movie was about. So everyone has their panties in a bunch without watching the movie and not knowing what it's about. So it's a good film. Kudos to the Sinhalese sister that made that movie. It is actually a really, really good movie. And I wish Americans could stop being hypocrites and real. Whoops, Heathcliff came on. I really wish people would stop being hypocrites in this country. Stop being so. Watch the film, and then you will be on the same page, and then we can talk about outrage after that. But speaking of hypocrisy, 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 man. You know, I was about to turn in and call it a night, and then something said, before I do that, I'll, play with my phone because that's what we do nowadays. Instead of like picking up on a book, like one of these wonderful book. Well, those are records, but above the records, there are books. But we would pick a book, have a fireside chat before we go to bed. Instead, we pick up our phones, just do another scroll before the night is over, knowing damn well you're going to go to bed scrolling, and it'll keep you up till 4 a.m. And then next thing you know, it's morning. I wasn't trying to drink tonight. I was going to save that for the weekend, but I had to open me a beer. To say 45 got that woo-woo. Why am I smiling? let me put a mask on so you know I can stop smiling. No, I don't drink Miller High Life. I would never. Okay, first of all, I do not drink that piss. I will not and shall not ever drink that swill called Miller Low Life. This is my mask. This is what happens when you don't wear one. You die. Um, Sorry, Mike, I don't mean to be so blunt, but no, I am drinking a Foreign Objects Hoppy IPA. I usually don't like hoppy IPAs, really like that anymore. My taste buds have gotten better, but I felt like having it because it's the only positive news. I mean, out of all the negative shit that's been going on personally for me, this is one time I can say, well, goddamn, there is a God. God, I've been waiting for you. Where have you been? I've been waiting for you all year, dear Lord. And you finally give us that October surprise we've been looking for. Cheers. Yes, I am happy that 45 got the WuWu. My best friend in Chicago just called me 1 o'clock her time, 11 o'clock my time, texting me knowing that I would be elated about such great news. Now, with that news, let's not get too overly excited. You got to think strategy here, and you have to use your critical thinking skills, because when people like presidents and what have you get sick, especially near an election or something tragic happens, you get sympathy from the others. And that is something that we have to pay attention to. And hopefully most people will avoid is the whole sympathy route. And I'm talking to people who are actually going to vote, who are actually going to exercise their right instead of saying, I'm not voting, there's no Black agenda. Okay, I know, hush, hush, hush. I'm going to tell you how you get, shh. I'm going to tell you how you get a Black agenda. Shh. My grandparents worked in politics for many years. Strategy. So I'm a progressive. I don't call myself a liberal. Yes, I do believe in voting because, yes, I'm one of those people that say, we died for this, and so I'm going to respect that. And plus, I was raised into a family with politics and what have you. But anyway, so here is the strategy. In order to get the Black, let's just speak on reparations. You got to play chess. You've got to knock more people out. Yes, I know. We tired. We want it. We want it now. You're not going to get it today. But hear me out. With the demographic changing, this is why it is becoming a little bit easier for us to possibly get to that goal of reparations, though we will have to fight again, even when it does become a majority of browner people, because you do have people even within our community that don't who aren't for reparations. And by the way, I just want to say the state of California just recently passed. It's a step, but hear me out. I'll read the article on reparations. It's reparations in California. Okay, Just hear me out. All right. California passes landmark law to study proposals for reparations. Okay. Now you say study. We don't want, you're like, fuck that. We want our coin. Okay. I got you. I got you. Let's read this together. Okay. All right. California became the first state to pass a law establishing a task force to study and make uh, recommendations on reparations for Black Americans. The landmark legislation calls for the creation of a 9-member commission to inform Californians about slavery and explore ways the state might provide reparations. Okay. The bill was authored by Assemblymember Shirley Weber of San Diego, who introduced it to state legislators back in February. Newsom signed it into law. California has historically led the country in civil rights. That is a fact. Yet we have not come to terms with our state's ugly past that allowed slaveholding within borders. Hear me out. I know. Yeah, I know. And returned escaped slaves to their masters, Weber said in the statement to Newsom. She added that Newsom's signature on the bill demonstrates that our state is dedicated to leading the nation on confronting and addressing the systematic injustice. The text of the California bill calls for the task force to study development reparational proposals for African Americans with special considerations for Americans who are descendants of persons. Okay. I just read something. Let me roll it. Rewind. The text of the California bill calls for the task force to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans with a special consideration for Americans who are descendants of persons enslaved in the United States. Okay. I said that in slow motion. Ice Cube shot out a tweet. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just go and cut the check, okay? Because cutting the check doesn't mean you're going to get your fair share of reparations, number one. So just cutting the check. And that's, some of us need to stop saying cutting the check. We sell ourselves too short. It's not about a check. How about some property? How about some land? How about some oil? There's more things to cut in the check. There are a lot more things there are more valuable things than the check, if you get what I'm saying. Now, I just read, this is why we always have to read all the information before we get either too pissed off or too overly excited. I just read that for those persons who are descendants of enslaved people. So here's the problem that I'm seeing, and I'm going to go see as someone who is of the indigenous ancestry. My great grandmother, who was full-blown Cherokee, and my grandfather, who is half. My grandfather told me stories of when supposedly the indigenous Americans were supposedly getting the reparations, which they did not. This is where the term of the $5 Indian comes in, meaning the $5 Indian is when the white people were perpetrating themselves as indigenous. Hence, those are the people that got the majority of the benefits that the indigenous Americans were supposed to get. So let's get that clear. So that language right there kind of puts me off because that's kind of saying or giving a license for those who look nothing like, well, I don't want to say someone who doesn't look black because we all come in different shades and hair textures and facial, but we usually know when you are family. So if I see someone who is looking very Nordic and what have you, I'm going to question that. Like which grandfather was a slave in your family? I mean, genetics is very tricky, but our gene pool, our African gene pool is a very, very strong gene pool. Okay, like you know, you can tell even in some Spaniards and some Italians that they have black ancestry, and you can just tell. But if I'm going to see somebody walking up who looks very, very, very blonde, and very, I mean, there are blonde black people. There are black people that have naturally blonde hair. I'm not one of them. Um, just keep the eye out for the Rachel Dolezals. That's the danger. So kudos to California for at least doing that, though that part is really questionable, but I understand why they had to put it in because for some reason black people can't get shit on their own. We got to include everyone, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. As long as it's the black indigenous first, black and indigenous, and then my Latino brothers and sisters, you know, just saying. But let's go back to why I'm so happy. Hey. You know, it's funny how dark humor brings people together. And dark humor just brings me back to life. Cheers. Oh, I knew. Sorry, my friend was texting me. Okay, so what does this mean? All right, so what does this mean? Well, this is our October surprise. And what does this mean for those COVID idiots? Maybe you should wear a mask. So basically, yeah. So what's going to be the fake news? What's going to be the conspiracy theory now? Like this whole time, this whole year that is basically fucking over. And then this bomb drops when everyone is just like the majority of us is doom and gloom. Minus, I mean, even the Trump supporters, they're not happy. They're going around carrying guns and they're acting angry when they should be happy. You're white. Your man won. You haven't been happy all 4 years. And they want to have a civil war. Yeah. Okay. Please, let's have a civil war. Who's going to get sick first? Who's not going to wear their mask? Who is not going to have the health insurance to cover them? Who, who, who is living in a holler probably right now, or in their white world thinking that this couldn't happen to me? Oh, that that's just for those people. Nah, just another. So where does this leave the conspiracy theorists? We can't, I mean, you can't really go and, are they really going to wake up tomorrow and say fake news? This isn't real? Or, oh, wait. Or are they going to use the lefties or the libs injected it into him? So that's how he got it. Watch, they're going to probably use that spin. That's pretty fucking nuts. Oh, the libs probably injected it into the air. So that's how Hope Hicks got it. Keep hope alive. This is just too easy. Um, let's see. I want to read. Hold on. Do. Uh, I like Huffington Post. All right, so let's read the headline, shall we? Donald Trump and his melted face wife, Melania Trump, tested positive for COVID. Scrolling down. I mean, up. The first lady, the president and the first lady are both well at this, blah, 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 blah. They tested positive for coronavirus just one day after his closest advisors, who also had tested, traveled with him on Air Force One. He tweeted it. He's showing his weakness. Go, dead man walking. Tonight, I tested positive for COVID 19. We will begin a quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together. Bitch, you mean you and your melted face wife are going to get through this together? We out here in the streets have been doing this already. Okay? 200, I believe that we're at 200. 200,000 or 200,080 of people that have died from the virus. We are at it's been 10 months and we are at month 8 of since March. And he's going to say, we're going to get through this together? We, by the grace of God, I haven't had anyone in my family that has passed from that. I've had family members who have died, but I could not go to their funerals. I have family members right now, presently, that I would love to go see in my home state of Missouri, but I can't because I can't see them because they can't let anyone else into the hospital. On top of that, I'm afraid to travel because I might be carrying it when I get there, and the most of the people who I'm going to see are going to be older anyway, and I might be carrying something at that time when I'm there to visit. You know, I could be the one killing them. We're going to get through this together. No, you want to get through this by yourself, and I swear to God, I do not want to hear, any of these mainstream media people. Oh, let's pray for the president for him to get better. Um, only let's just our condolences to the president and the first lady. I hope he really gets better. Cheers, motherfucker. Wait, my favorite line from Rocky Four when Ivan Drago, if he dies, he dies. But again, yes, Julius, it is true. It's true. He actually tweeted about it. I'm actually kind of impressed with the old motherfucker that he tweeted because, mind you, when in his crooked ass mind, showing illness or compassion or empathy is a sign of weakness to him. So him showing himself in a vulnerable way by tweeting, which hold that thought too, because this is political. I said the ghost of Herman Cain too, and I don't like that motherfucker, but spot on, Julius, spot on. um, what was I saying? Oh yes, the fact that he tweeted it is kind of, and let's think psychology, folks. That empathy, the fact that because again, he never shows his weak side, but now he's showing his weak side and vulnerability. And so the fact of the matter is, him showing himself being vulnerable and ill, people eat that shit up. Oh no. Oh God. Oh, we should help him. Oh, let's pray. Don't bite that bullshit, people. Do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. That's what this is. Do not. That little fucking even evil demon Stephen Miller. If you guys have never seen how this man looks, he is the ugliest, like, oof, like woof. He is probably someone that said this could be a great strategy for us to get more vote, to get more, to climb in the polls, because the fact we know that he is losing. Look at this ugly motherfucker. This is okay. This is Stephen Miller. Can you see? Do you know that guy is like, I think he's 33, 34 by now. Look at him. Anyway, I have to have a little sip for that face. Ugh. That's why he's so angry. Like, he probably came out the room like, get me out of here. Your room is mine. Okay, so we know the debates just happened. Okay, so people are also thinking about, oh my God, the debates. Did anyone else get infected? Like Jim Crow Joe? We don't know. But I'm going to say this, okay? It's gonna be, ugh. We don't want Jim Crow Joe to get that shit. And let me tell you why. Again, I'm a voter. I vote. I believe in democracy. I believe there is a way to get reparations. Politics is always strategy. They don't always give you what you want and hand it out, especially when you are Black. You have to work your ass off 100 times. They say 10 times. No, fuck that. 100 times. There is going to be a day and there is going to be a time when we are going to get what we owed. I hope it comes in our lifetime, but until then, God damn it, there's a strategy to get what we want, okay? You don't get the freedom by just saying, give me the keys to the chains. But anyway, the reason why I say I don't want Biden to be infected by this. Yes, I am voting for Jim Crow Joe. And the reason why I'm I had to swallow my pride. Oof. The reason why we need Jim Crow Joe in there right now is to knock out the players. We're trying to knock, it's chess. You have to knock off one. You have to knock off 45, right? Okay, so then the next strategy is to knock off Biden. It's all chess. You have to knock them off. And here's the thing, we do have a lot of progressives that are coming in, and with the demographic changing and the country even getting more poorer, especially after this pandemic, um, there are going to be more desperate people, desperate Americans, and we are going to need free healthcare. We are going to need free college. We are going to need those solar jobs because their factory jobs have been gone. The net that's been going down since, like, well, I was going to say the 80s because that was the decade I was born, but no, beyond that. But what I'm saying is, you have to knock off these players in order to get what you want. You have to play chess. Now, there is a lot of bullshit and dirty politics that comes with that territory, but with playing chess, eventually we will get to the goal that we need. Yeah, I know it's only taken 500 and something years. Julius didn't bitch and get it too, but take a stiff one. I'll take a stiff. Well, I don't want to take this stiff one. This is as stiff as it's going to get right now. I'm tempted, but no, I have to. I want to work out and wake up. Okay. Let's see what I was going to say. Oh, so yeah, so that's, hopefully these votes, the sympathy vote won't take anything away from because we want to knock him out. We want, again, chess, people, chess. You can't get reparations if you don't play the game. Life is a game, period. You want that money? Play the game. But make sure you do it right, and don't tap dance out. And don't get me wrong, there are tap dancers in both parties. But what I'm just saying is we have to be smart about this. But for right now, we're going to celebrate the fact that karma's a motherfucker. Mm. All right, so let's see. Do you think he's going to have another rally? Silly. I was hoping he was going to have more rallies. Darwin was going to work its magic. You know, the fact that he was like just treating everything like, oh my God, everything's okay. No, my homeboy didn't die, Herman Cain. No, that never happened. The fact of the matter that he's just been like at these rallies and just spreading it. We know now who the outbreak monkey is. Oh, oh, oh. And let me that is Hope Hicks, by the way. Let's read about this. See you next Thursday, all right? Okay. She kept hope alive. Okay, so if you don't know, she is the counselor and senior advisor to orangutan, and she had tested positive. Hicks was one of Trump's closest and most trusted aides. Traveled on Air Force One on Tuesday to Cleveland for the debate. Oh, Biden, you better get tested. Hold on, moment. Hold on. Okay, I got a question. So, in some states, they have a law for if you know that you have a sexually transmitted disease and you don't take precautions and you spread it, they could possibly get. Actually, that's not the same thing because he just found out. He just thought it was a hoax. That's the difference. Okay. Not going to work in the same. Okay. Disregard what I just said. But anyway. Yeah, so she traveled on Air Force One to Cleveland for the presidential debate and in Minnesota for that race rally on Wednesday. And she was photographed leaving Air Force One in Cleveland while not wearing a mask. I wonder, you know what I just thought about? So, the story about the debates is, everyone was socially distancing. And so you had the Biden crew on one side and the other side. And one of the people in charge uh, of the debates told the Trump side they took their mask off and he asked them to put their mask on and they refused. So they just put other people in danger. Hope Hicks is the outbreak monkey in the White House. And so she could be the outbreak monkey in Washington, which she could possibly be the outbreak monkey for Joe Biden since she was there at the debates and they were told to please put on their mask and they refused. Oh, oh, oh. If I was anyone that worked on the Biden campaign or a relative or even Jill Biden, you could possibly sue because at that venue where they were, it was mandated for them to wear masks and they didn't. And Hope Hicks was there. Ooh, child. I'm running out of leverage. He admitted he knew it was serious and real, but exactly. Yes. Yes, Julius. Yes. We knew. Hold that thought. Oh. We're back. All right. Do you know how easy this is? Watch. This is a mask. This is a mask of all black men who've been killed by police. So I put on this mask for a friendly reminder of, well, don't get killed by the police, don't kill others, and don't kill yourself. See how easy that is? Look, not that hard, right? Just to put on a fucking mask. But no. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I just in Pinterest I get it. I don't know. I do not know. It's just what makes me so angry is the fact that all of our lives have been put on hold. I've lost my job. Millions of people have lost their job. People have lost their homes. Kids can't go to school. College students have lost scholarship money or loan money. People have lost their lives. And then, hey, we're going to get through this together. Really, dude? Really? No, you should do this all by yourself. You and your melted face wife. At this point, I'm wondering what the Trump supporters are going to say. I'm just dying. And after I'm probably done with this live, I'll probably be up all night reading, tweeting, and harassing or getting harassed. And it's just such a great day. Hold that thought. All right, we're back. My one full beer for the whole night. I was trying not to drink tonight. I was saving it for Saturday. But god damn it, I had to have some kind of beverage for this. I mean, I was starting not to believe in anything anymore. God, universe, morality. Mm. But I must say, my old self would have had a little bit of guilt, meaning you're not supposed to think this ill will of human beings. You're not supposed to think, how could you ever? But when I know that you could not give two shits about my people, myself, and others that look like me or who can identify with us, and you would rather see me dead or in chains. Well, how am I supposed to, what am I supposed to do? Send you flowers? I'm not I'm not a docile Negro. And that's the thing. There was a point in time, though, I will say, very young, and especially in high school, no, not in high school. I think I got out of my docileness, like maybe in high school. And that vaccine, good point, Julius. Look at us being friends now. Oh, um, the vaccine. So I'm sure Julius makes a great point. Julius is the gentleman that's in my chat. Um, about the vaccine. He's probably going to really take it seriously now, huh? I'm sure because you know that 45 is a germaphobe and he is very, and by the way, he's been freaking out the whole time since the virus, as Julia stated in the chat earlier, that he knew, and especially with that interview with Bob Woodward. And plus, by the way, let's just get this out. We colored folks have a sixth sense. We've been through so much. We already know how this story is going to be played. So when it came to the fact of the matter of, with him trying to put up this, with the COVID thing, we knew not to believe him. Even when he was running for office in 2016, we didn't trust him. In other words, we tried to tell y'all we're always right. Why won't you guys listen to us? When we say that this shit ain't cool, maybe, just maybe, you should actually take advantage of the Negro sense. I'm just saying, but you know what? Hey, you guys have high IQs. I'm just saying. You smart. I get to the chat. Julius, you're blowing me up. Oh, I know. I know, Julius. I know. He said we've always been friends. Though I don't know what he looks like, but yes. He is on he's on the great one of my favorite chats I like to go on is LVZ. Shout out. Um, though he like he's probably mad at me because of what I said. Yes, I do have feminist ways of thinking. Okay. Um, and I like the way he thinks and what have you. But I also think in a different way. But I like to think in, I I dig a lot of people, you know. I look like Denzel Washington, but just uglier, uglier. So, do you look like Denzel, like Saint Elsewhere, when he had a little bit of the zoop zoop? He had a little bit of like a shag, or are you like Denzel, like a Flight when he was high and on drugs? Julius. Um, but I really have to stress on my channel. I have to stress voting. I really do. I know there are a lot of people that are against it. I'm not I'm trying not to voter shame. I'm not gonna do that. But I'm telling you, if you want reparations, then you gotta play chess. Um, to each their own. I have some family members who say they aren't going to vote, and I just have to swallow my pride and wait till the next time they complain about some shit. I'm gonna come with them with some shit. But and I squint my eyes. Oh, I did. I squint my eyes on because, dude, I do improv. I come from the world. I'm very theatrical, so forgive me. Uh, but the point, like with everything going on, like everything is so topsy turvy, and especially being black in this fucking country. It's exhausting. It's very exhausting. It's like it's every day. And I'm gonna make a little confession here. Hold that thought before we do that. I'm black. Uh, all right. So where I grew up uh, was a predominantly white town in Missouri in the Ozarks. And my grandparents owned their own electrical company there. And they were the first to integrate Catholic schools. And my grandparents were heavy into the Catholic community. I probably talked about this on previous chats, live streams, or what have you. So I did grow up in a predominantly white world. Um, when I was 13, I moved to St. Louis. I moved to the suburbs of St. Louis, North County, which is predominantly, it's, black and white, but everything is just black and white. So when I moved to St. Louis, I thought it was going to be the best thing ever because I was going to be around more of my people. Ooh, we're bouncy. Um, and so the school year starts, and it was the hardest thing. And the reason why it was the hardest thing, than other than white people call you nigger or you getting choked out on a Foursquare game because you won and you're in fourth grade, that happened to me. Um, the hurt that I got when I moved to St. Louis, thinking that I was going to be okay and I'm with my people, and it was the exact opposite. It made me stay away from my people for a long time because I had never gotten that before. I got the fact I got chastised because the way I talk, I want to talk white, which I still get that. still to this very day. I don't know what white people talk. What's how do white people talk? Where I'm from, they do not know how to use their words or enunciate. So let's again, that's the white supremacy ideology that black people some still think. Um, my skin, my complexion. They said I was fair skinned. I just there's a difference between being fair skinned and light skinned. So let's get that straight. Okay. Okay, I'm light skinned. I used to be made fun of. They would call me mixed nut, yellow cake. I don't know where they got yellow cake from. Oreo, high yellow, um, house nigga was one. That's a good one. Mm, all these things. So I stopped hanging around or trying to be friends with black folks, and I stopped trying to be friends with white folks because, well, but the people that I started hanging out with were very eclectic. There was gay people, there were the weirdo black kids you know, that were ostracized, and then, the goths and the punks. I hung out with those kids. And yeah, the majority of them were white, but they were also fighting up against the establishment as well. The establishment, excuse me, the establishment of conforming. And so that's how I still am to this very day of fighting the conformity route, because when you conformity to me now means whitewash. I mean, I know that's not what doesn't mean that's not the complete definition of what conformity means, but just to read and to conform, we all know what that means. Comply to rules and standards. To be a similar form or style, or for a person to behave accordingly or socially accepted to conventions or standards. So yeah, I guess what I said, conformity is to whiteness here in this country. So that is out the window, always has been. But did you guys hear the news that 45's got COVID? Ah! I know. Oh my gosh, I've been on here for an hour. Good. I'll probably give you another 20 minutes or so. I showed people this the other night or last week, the t-shirts that we made, my cousin and I. She's in El Paso right now. I'm kind of jealous. But this is we made these t-shirts, and it's a Elvis. And so you can read it because I hate Elvis. It says, "Is this your king?" And so, and then this era of Elvis was, during his like Nixon era, and he was anti-drug, but you can't tell that he was anti-drug because this motherfucker was high as hell on benzos. So that's a hate Elvis shirt. Oh, and then the other one says gentrifying music. since dot dot dot. Yeah. Man. I don't know why. I feel like tomorrow's gonna be get a good day. I feel like Ice Cube. No barking from the dog, no smog, and mama's cooking breakfast and no hog. Like like today's gonna be a good day. I always gotta knock on wood because you never know. You never fucking know. The vaccine. I think we were talking about that maybe about like 10 minutes ago. Sorry, I got off track. Um, I might be a little stoned. Um, but yeah, the vaccine. So I think he is going to take it very seriously now, or is he? I don't know. And plus, do we really want to take anything from this guy? Do you really want? I mean, he don't have the best. He said he has the best and the brightest, but them mofos are not that bright. Just saying. I mean, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You're all gonna have to take a vaccine at some point, okay? Let's just let's stop bullshitting ourselves. Are we gonna take it this year? I would not suggest that because I'm like Public Enemy, can't trust it. I don't suggest it, love. No, I wouldn't suggest that. Um, Next year, mm, but here's the thing. I'm tired of people saying like, I'm never going to take the vaccine. Never going to take that. You're bullshitting yourselves, okay? It looks like we're not going to eradicate this because of what bullshit administration that we've had for the past 3.5 years. And you cannot be roaming around with this virus. Now, we can talk about how it started, where it started. That's a whole different conversation. And, as a matter of fact, I have questions on that too because I have family in Shanghai. I actually came back January 7th before the whole continent shut down. So, I mean, I have questions, but I'm going to save those questions for a later date. Right now is about getting healthy and making sure that others are healthy. Doing things that the government that we pay for that should be doing. But the vaccine, come on. You motherfuckers really gonna say that? Tell me that I'm not gonna take this vaccine. I bet you if someone offered you a lot of money, not to be a test bunny, but a lot of you motherfuckers would take the vaccine. Y'all just would be really scared right now. We all take vaccines. We have to take a vaccine for polio. We got to take a vaccine for whooping cough. We got to take a vaccine for mumps. You don't have to take the flu vaccine, which I don't take the flu vaccine on a regular basis. No. Oh, someone's car is going off. Um, but what I'm also saying is the fact, like, You have to do your homework in order to take any kind of medication, any kind of vaccine. And yes, do, I am very suspicious. Oh, you hear the car alarm? Um, it's still here, safe. Um, but with the vaccine and stuff, yeah, I'm very suspicious, especially right now. Anything that is rushed, anything that is brought out by this administration, I would not put into my body. I would not trust any of that. I understand that suspicion. But for people to say, like, I'm never going to take the vaccine or no, you're lying to yourselves. If it's approved and it's safety approved, most of y'all are gonna be running out to take that vaccine. Okay. I mean, I would rather have like a natural herb or something, or, you know, something that can be concocted into a drink to, you know, something natural. And yeah, Julius, you say no, not me. Be careful. Never say never. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying I'm suspicious and I need to do my homework. And I also would not want to trust anything. You're gonna give yourself a shot of Crown Royal. Oh, you guys are probably. Wait, what is your time zone? I'm a Pacific time, so to me it's early. Ah, that's the time I still go by, Central Time. I'm a Central girl. I'm from the Midwest, so Central. Michael, yes, we are on Pacific. Exactly. Oh, that's why. Oh, we got Central Time, aka Missouri, Illinois, my state's where I'm from. Central Time is what I live by. That's 2 hours ahead, so that means it's 1:45. Got it. And aquí, we are at 12:45. Did I say 1:45? I'm sorry. 2:45 Central Time. My bad. Bad math. But going back to the vaccine, I ain't gonna take it right now. And plus, I do have an issue with a lot of westernized medicine anyway. I it scares me. It westernized medicine gets people into drugs. And when I say that for the pill factor, meaning what is the epidemic that's killing people the most? Not us. Your good old fashioned opioids. You go ahead. Oh, by the way, we try to tell you about drugs. I mean, us, the coloreds, the black people. We try to tell you, but you didn't want to listen. And that's another thing. Going back to some like the whole 45 and Trump. Um, and why I'm so happy. Look at him. I bet you he's up right now, like just mad at himself and crying in a fetal position, like tits all out. and eating like a Big Mac next to a toilet bowl and just tears just dripping out, and his weave is all disheveled or he's like bald. And like Melania's like, get off the floor. You're pathetic. Where's my half? I did my part. You made me sick, you bastard. Ooh, I bet you that house is just. But again, let's not get overly excited. Okay. Sympathy from the schmucks. And on top of the fact that he is the president and he has really good doctors. But on top of the fact that he is the president and has really good doctors, he's a stubborn fool. And he is the kind of person that would not take his medication or work out, as we see, because he has B cups. But also, there are a lot of schmucks in America that will sympathize for a dictator that could care less and piss on their body. I don't get those people. I don't get it at all. I think it's really sad. I mean, I'm probably not going to get work after I say this, but I tell my friends this. Is it boring being white? I mean, and I'm talking about white Americans because I do see a difference in white Europeans. Don't get me wrong, I did not say that they weren't white supremacists. There are a bunch of white Europeans. They're the OGs of white supremacy. But right now, we're talking about the non critical thinkers of white people in America. Because even their European ancestors do not want anything to do with white Americans because they're dumb. They're like the bottom. Oh, yeah. Europeans, excuse me, white Europeans, because Europeans come in all different colors and shades now. Shout out to my people of color, Muslim and Black Europeans. Right on. Um, they look at American whites as embarrassments, as if in the supremacy ideology, you should be smarter than this by this point. In other words, the Americans let them down, and now it's just like, don't come over here. We don't want you. Stay there. That's why it's really funny, like, when I go to Europe with my significant other, and you can tell when there's an American tourist, not me. Um, when there's that Stanley that lives in Wichita, and he's that white American tourist, the white Europeans are just like, oh, stupid Americans, idiots. They look at them as like, you did our project wrong. You fucked up. And yeah, you think it's not hard to believe, Julius. I mean, they still, by the way, they're still on code, but I will say that the white Americans are kind of looked a little more, bit more uneducated and distasteful. in contrast to the white Europeans. That's what I'm saying from what I've seen and where I've been. And they're not lying, you know. But white supremacy is throughout the world. Like I've experienced it in different cultures, different countries, and different continents. And that was a wake up call to me. And the reason why I feel the way I feel about when we talk about us in the diaspora, what really pisses me off is the fact that here, uh, being a Black American, um, I'm not for the ADOS or FDS, whatever that FDS. I know what ADOS is, but then there's the one that with Tariq Nasheed, FDS, which is a feminine spray. No, the reason why I'm not for that, and here's why. If it was ADOS Americas, yeah, FBA, foundational Black people. Now, when you say foundational, do we talk about his mother-in-law? Oh, I'm just saying. Never mind. That's FBA. Got it. Um, but the reason why I can understand a little bit more of ADOS, but let's not become some of the ideology with some of like the reparations with the ADOS. And I'm not even going to include the FBA, the FDA, the PRA, the PM Dawn, because that's a joke. It is a joke. He hasn't done anything. He's a joke. But with the ADOS movement, that movement needs to stretch out. And when I'm saying ADOS should be America's meaning this boat drop off was not did not start in America, number one, okay? We got 13%. We need to start a charter of ADOS. And the fact of the matter is, like, when we do not include people of this hemisphere of the Caribbean diaspora and even the Latin diaspora, we're starting to sound like white national or yeah, we're starting to sound like white nationalists. That's a way to separate us, and that is actually we're playing into their game of separation of our culture and being displaced. And it's so funny, like when I listen to like some of like these Vicky Dillard's, which I can't stand to watch her because her camera's all like 1997 and it's like Vaseline on it. I disagree with everything. Here's the thing. I study Latin studies, um, have family that were Black history majors. White supremacy don't care if you're from Haiti, Jamaica, the Bronx, or Biloxi. They are still a nigga to you. Those boat rides that we got over here are the same merchant that brought us here to the States. The merchant that brought us over from our land to the Caribbean and to the States, that's still the same merchant. That's still the same boat rides. And that boat rides that went to Brazil and Panama, those are still the same people that are tied into it. Now, hear me out. ADOS should have chapters, just like there was a Black Panther chapter in every city. Oakland didn't say we can be the only Black Panther chapter here. No, you spread that out. And then the Black Panthers started working with La Raza and with the Latin Kings, which, that's not happening anymore because code, everyone has went off code. Everybody, including you Negroes too, you went off code. And what I'm saying is, the thing is, we don't even know our history. You have motherfuckers thinking that Jamaicans aren't Black or Dominicans aren't Black or people in Mexico are just indigenous. No, no. And thinking that America, and here's the kicker. There are a lot of us that think that America, the states, are the ones that just got enslaved. And who were the only ones that were part of the drop off. You kidding me? Do you know who has the largest number of that drop off and who got freed the latest? The Brazilians. Brazil got 40%. Brazil is nothing but a beautiful Black country. But what happened after the end of slavery, I believe in 1876 or 1880, 15 years after the Civil War here and supposedly the end of slavery here, though there was no end of slavery, there was still indentured servitude. But basically, by the time Brazil had freed the slaves, we were in our first Reconstruction where we had Black governors and senators. That's between 1870 to like 1885 to 1890 before Jim Crow changed everything and flipped the script because niggas getting empowered too soon after them being locked up. Oh my God. And so what I'm trying to say is the fact that everyone on this hemisphere who is Black, who accepts their Blackness, deserves reparations. The NFAR, I need to do more research on them. That is my pure ignorance. That's the National Foundation of Autism. Hold on. Yeah, it says the National Foundation of Autism Research. I will do a little bit more research. Oh, not the fucking. Oh, yes. 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 Okay, Julius, I know who you're talking about now. Lo siento. I know exactly who you're talking about. My bad. I felt like an idiot. The not fucking around. Here's the thing, my beautiful people, and this includes my beautiful Latinx people who can identify with their Blackness. We all deserve reparations. I don't want to single any Black person out. And in actuality, I would like to talk about the reparations that our motherland, our continent needs. But that's a broader stance. We need to focus here on this hemisphere. And we have to focus on the fact of the matter that what we're doing and what some of the things I'm hearing or even seeing on some of these platforms is dividing the diaspora. That is not right. That is what white men want us to do. And when you do that, they divide us by numbers. Yes, we are different in culture, but we are still Black. And what pisses me off is that the fact that, and I'm going to say this about Black Americans, we are entitled. We are soft as a motherfucker. Stop being so goddamn soft. We didn't used to be this soft. And also, too, instead of spending your money on some frivolous bullshit, travel. It's cheaper for you to go to Jamaica or the Bahamas rather than like spend a night at a club or buy some red bottoms, or instead of spending your money on the white man, spend your money in a dark country or in the Caribbean or someplace in Latin America. No, don't buy guns, because you're when you're buying guns, yeah, I get it, Julius, but you're talking about the protection route, but no, I'm saying I'm talking about the big picture, because those guns that you're buying, you're getting them from Smith and Wesson, and Smith and Wesson don't hire people that look like us. I'm just saying. Yeah, and also too, you're giving money to the NRA, and of course, teach your child survival. That's stupid. That's that is why this is why some people shouldn't have kids, because there's too many parents out here that can't teach their kids survival because they're too busy thinking about their hashtag and how many Black folks do what? Travel or invest in the white? Because a lot of Black folks, Black Americans, invest into white, and or teach your child survival. Oh, teach children. I really still think that there is a large factor of us that do teach kids, but I'm starting to see the lack thereof. I'm a child of the 80s. I was born in the 80s. I mostly grew up in the 90s. I had weapons. I'm a child of divorce. So I had a single parent mom, and she taught me well. And I had my grandparents. And here's the thing, that's the thing. We had old school generations. We had generations of people that fought in World War II, or who were there during the Depression, or who can tell us about Jim Crow, who told us the stories, who told us of like, never put your head down, always stand up tall. You had that. What I feel bad for is a lot of the kids and the new generation that don't have that. I think I'm a millennial, I'm an early millennial. So I had the last, some of us had the last of that grasp of listening to your elders and shutting the fuck up and letting them talk, and, taking those life skills from them. And, you know, and then, I also have to say, social media is a blessing and a curse. Hold that thought. I'm back. Um, but yeah, it's and here's something else. It's not it, Julius, I'm gonna tell you something. This is me, the suburbanite and the scared little wuss that I can be. I'm actually afraid of guns. Um, but within the recent events of 2020, I'm at that point, not saying I'm going to buy a gun. I have a stun gun. It's not going to save me. Um, and plus, I'm a klutz, so I can be. I have a feeling that I'm going to be that accidental shooter that slips like on a banana peel, and the gun will be there, and I'll end up shooting myself in the foot or in the head. So, but I am willing to go to exactly. I am willing to go to target practice and shoot a gun. The last time I shot a gun was with my grandfather in the backyard of my grandparents, shooting groundhogs with a rifle when I was young. So, like, I've shot a rifle with my grandfather, shooting groundhogs in the backyard, but I've never thought about taking a human life or doing a warning shot. I've cut someone. Oops. Was supposed to say that part. I'm old fashioned. I just like to use spirits and voodoo dolls and Santeria. That's how I get back at people. Um, and spaghetti. I'll leave that alone. But I feel like we do need to protect ourselves, and it's do not show fear. One thing that I was brought up into, and especially never show fear. Never let them see you cry. Never get overly emotional. Always outsmart them. Because when you outsmart them, they hate that the most. And when you taunt them with your intelligence, that really gets into their gears. They actually really, that's my defense mechanism because I've been a bartender for the past uh, almost 15 years. I simply just say, fuck them. Well, I say the same thing too. That's easy to say. But fuck them is too easy. I like to make people cry with words. Like, I want you to think about what I said, and I want those words and everything that I said to you, and how I broke you down to a little small microdose of a piece of flesh that is left on the concrete that nobody wants and nobody needs. I want you to feel that. And I want you to feel that low until every day that you brush your teeth. I want your hair to fall out. I want you to be so paranoid that you're going to end up driving yourself insane. I want the fact that my words will make you want to jump off a bridge. You dig? Because you can't do that. I'm not a fighter. Um, I will fight. But my thing is I'm going to hurt you. It's not going to be like Vaseline and take my ears off. I'm going to find out that what triggered that hurt you. Like, who hurt you? Who touched you? Why are you like this? Do you really hate yourself? Are you really mad at me because you really hate yourself and you're that low? Did your parents not give you the love that you need? Oh. Does someone bring the orchestra? I hear strings. Your sadness is not safety to me. Have you ever thought about jumping off a bridge? You should think about that. Here in the Bay Area, we have many bridges for you to choose from. I'll watch. Just make sure the plunge. Go head first. Okay. I'm not going to take pictures. The picture will be in my mind forever. I'm just saying, I'm just dark. And plus, I do believe in voodoo and me being a little bit Creole. I do. I like to play psychological head games. You know, years in college, this is one thing that I learned. And also, too, women know how to manipulate really well. Let's not get that twisted, okay? Women know how to, if you're a smart broad and not some ghetto gagger, you know how to manipulate really well. But yeah, I I noticed that, Julius, sometimes brute force, and here's the thing, because I agree with brute force at sometimes. And when brute force comes in, that's the last thing that you want to do. You don't want to come in headstrong because a certain demographic of people are expecting you to do that because they're programmed for you to be like, they think that we are savages when it's the opposite, when they are. So the best way to do brute force is with brute vocal and brute force starts with words. Brute force, and brute force does not mean, I'm not talking about yelling. I'm not talking about name calling. I'm not talking about like insults. I'm talking about doing the reverse psychology of like, oh man, look at you in that truck. Is that why you're acting this way? Because you got that little shitty, that truck? Like, oh, oh, you mad at me? Oh man. Yeah, it's okay. You might be one of the low birth rates. I feel for you, man. You probably had an uncle that died of opioids. That sucks. And then laugh. Man, kudos to your uncle and your grandpappy and your grandma and your great grandpappy. Or here's something I've told a white supremacist. You must be proud of your family. They come from, you come from rapists. Intriguing. You must be proud of that. Threw him off. That person didn't know what to say. I'm like, yeah, you come from a bunch of rapists. Well, I'm not a rape. Oh no, it's okay. You're stupid. You just, that's just your genetic background. It's okay. And then if they want to talk about history, I love when people say like, go back to where you come from, and that's when I say, are you just mad because you can't get back on the Mayflower? Because the Europeans don't want you? You're like Richard Gere and an officer and a gentleman. You got no place to go. You homeless. And plus, go back to where I came from. Luckily, this is when I use my indigenous card. You should get on a boat, find some whatever mountain, European place that wants you, and see how far that goes. But other than that, this ain't your country. Your people are dying, and we're going to get it back. Oh, by the way, um, watch what you're eating. Where's the gorilla group? It's right here. I'm talking about pointing at me. Okay, Julius, stop. Too many swirlers. Okay, Julius. Are you mad at swirlers or are you mad at white supremacists? Because I got something to say. I've dated white dudes. Oh no! Oh my god! Ah! Just like you probably dated or slept with a white girl. Oh my god! Oh my! I mean, you gonna shoot me now? You gonna be mad at? You're gonna be mad at me because there's when you say swirlers, there's a lot of people in the Hotep community and a lot of people who have swirled. Now, if you're talking about people who have cooned and tap dance and those who shuck and jive, that's where you need to be aiming your target at. Because from the looks of it, I guess I'm going to be called a swirler because I dated outside my race. Oh no, oh darn. But that doesn't mean that I'm not for my people. And plus, I'm not here singing that kumbaya. Hey, not everyone sees color, man. Let's just give these a chance. Or, oh my God, how I can't believe, we should really stop the violence. Julius, my thing is, I'm not trying to. Here's the thing. I'm not talking about killing. I'm talking about killing evil. And my thing is this. I'm not trying to kill all white people. Oh no! She said it. She's a sell. She's a bad witch. Oh my God! She's terrible. Oh, let me get my gun. Oh, my keyboard. Oh no. No. I am talking and first of all, let's get this point blank period. Um Living here in America, uh bedwitch.com. See, yep. Whoops. Oh no, I've slept with a white guy before. Oh darn. I admitted that. I just lost the fact that I'm black. Darn. And by the way, so the fuck what? That still does not take away from the fact of how I feel about our people, how I feel about white supremacy, how I feel about how we get things. And so my thing is this. We here in America have no right to call out anybody about a lot of things and being 100% black on things. You know why? Because none of us here on this continent, the majority of us, excuse me, are not 100% our indigenous selves. Our blood is tainted. So, whoops. Okay, moving on. Yeah, I'm gonna be called a bed witch and everything else. Whatever. I know. I don't know why. Whatever. I love someone that loved me at that point in time that could understand me. Mm. But this is see, this is the part. This is what pisses me off. It's always you are black first, and the reason why, and this is how I was raised. This is what my grandparents taught me. It doesn't matter what DNA blood that you have. If they see you as a black woman or a black man, you are black. You are a nigga to them. It doesn't matter if you have indigenous blood or you think you're mixed or you have like 10% Irish or like this amount or like 10% of like any kind of European blood or 50% or you're mixed, they are still a nigga to you. My grandparents did not teach me sangria. That's a drink. Santeria. You mean Santeria, not sangria, Julius. They did teach me how to drink. We are Catholic. I know. It's. I thought that was funny though. I'm a liga because I'm like. um, this is kind of some of the things that piss me off about Black culture, and I'm not even going to say here in the States, but I think it's all over. I especially got it in Jamaica, and they're that way in the UK as well, because a lot of Black folks in the UK, especially Africans, they want Julius, because, okay, let me finish what I was going to say before Julius got me. You got me. You got me. We'll get there. But people in the UK, especially Africans, they are very into their cultural, like they don't want even Caribbean outsiders touching some of their culture. Certain African British Africans that live in the UK, like there's like you can see the difference between like the Caribbean Black folks in the UK as well as the African folks in the UK. And some of them do not F with each other at all because the customs are different, the language is different, the patois versus like you might be Sinhalese and you speak French, or you may be from the Ivory Coast. And then there's the Nigerians that think they're Nigerians all over the world. They think they're better than everybody. That's just, it's not just with Black Americans. Nigerians think they're the shit all over the place, okay? They do the same thing to the Caribbeans and other Africans in the UK, all right? So, hi, we're not special, but it is something that, experiencing that and experiencing the differences in, you have them actually kind of bumping heads where it's just like, oh, look at these colored people fucking, like, you have someone speaking patois and someone speaking like Ivory Coast French, and they're both black and they're mad. And I'm like, but it's just something like, it's a moment in time that I like to bring back here to the States where we have this. I'm gonna talk about us. I'm gonna talk about Black Americans. Man, sometimes, well, Julius, okay. Oh, wait, well, I'll answer Julius. Julius, his grandparents told him that voodoo was worship. Yes, religion is voodoo. I was raised in a Catholic family, strict Catholic family, strict. I was the first to go, not to go to Catholic high school in my family. I've seen the Pope. It was boring as fuck. Um, Religion is voodoo. And it depends what kind of voodoo that you're talking about, because voodoo is not always negative. That is the white supremacy. I sound like something, white supremacy. That is the white supremacy ideology that Christianity has pushed onto us. Voodoo is not all bad. Okay? Don't do that. Yes, it is. And actually, Catholicism has a little bit of traits of what we in Africa. I got to do a little bit more research before I say this. I'm not going to say this. I'm not, scratch what I'm about to say, because I got to do a little bit more research before I even say that. But I trust the spirits over a organized religion. It's, and this is why visiting outside of your comfort zone, especially like going to Puerto Rico, or even like, I have family in New Orleans. I would go to voodoo seances. We would pray away the hurricanes. We would do a lot of things. It wasn't like a scene in Angel Heart where you're like sacrificing goats and stuff. No, it was actually a celebration. And so, what I don't like is our people. This is where white supremacy ideology has got us locked in to looking at some of the things that are originally ours, looking at them as bad and negative. So let's not do that to ourselves. You know, and it is a very old type of way of thinking, and that's not fair to us. I mean, we practiced something before we were sold off and then kidnapped. We believe in spirits and different types of gods. We are spiritual people. Religion is a man-made thing. Even if it is, what we did was voodoo, the white man made it and turned it and tarnished it into something negative. That's a bedwitch moment for you. There you go. You know. Well, Julius, no shit. Why do you think I'm laughing? Oh, by the way, tonight's chat was about someone got the clap, someone got corona, someone got the clap, someone got corona. To me, the clap is corona. So someone got the corona, someone got rona, someone got the rona, someone got the rona. Yeah, no, why be nice? Why be nice or be docile to people that don't like you, that wish nothing but pure hell and death? That makes no sense. I'm tired of being peaceful. I'm tired of being nice. And here's something else. I'm right with you on that one. I'm right with you on that. My thing is, I keep saying my thing is, I really need to stop saying that. It's folks, ain't you tired? Aren't you tired of white supremacy being thrown up in your face and you already know it? I've been on this earth since 1980. That's all you're gonna get out of me. I was born in 1980. But even in my lifetime, it's always been something about, oh, excuse me. Oh no, Rona. I'm kidding. It's always been something with us as a threat to society. And then even growing up during the crack epidemic, and we're the violent ones. We're the savages. We're where I lived in the Ozarks in that era of the late 80s and 90s. All I saw was white people smoking crack and meth. Mm. I mean, I grew up in the era where also too though, here's the thing. Black people don't kill for fun or rob people because it's a Saturday night, let's do something crazy like what white people do, certain white people do in the suburbs. That's not what we do. We do things for survival. And so like I grew up in the era of like I can't wear my Chicago Bulls starter jacket because that's a mark. And if I wear it in the wrong neighborhood, this little 11-year-old, 12-year-old girl is going to get popped and someone's going to rob me of that China made plastic cheap ass $125 starter jacket that I made my mama buy. I'm sorry, mom. My bad. Lo siento. But we don't do things because we are just violent people. It's survival, and it's because that's where they put us into, and that's where they want us in. Still, they want us thinking in that gutter mind. So, Julius, when you were talking about, that's what I'm talking about. When I moved to St. Louis in '94, yeah, '94 when I was 12. Same thing. I can't wear that Chicago Bulls jacket. But Julius, what you're saying earlier um, about things not being peaceful, I get what you're saying, and I'm actually agreeing with you because we have been through different um, reconstructions since 1865. For some of us, 1866, 1867. because 1865 is not when, hey, by the way, everyone, Telegram, everyone was not freed on the day of 1865 in that day, in that year. So we had our first Reconstruction in the 1870s that lasted till 1890. Didn't last very long. Jim Crow, or more like 1885 is when it basically ended. And then Jim Crow comes through, and then we have the second Reconstruction. It's almost 100 years. Second Reconstruction is the Civil Rights Movement in the 1950s and the 1960s, which leads us into the modern. We're in the third Reconstruction. We've waited so long. 3 is a number where, you know, this is the third act. After the third act, we have no more acts. It's done. Like it's fin, as the French would say, fin. You know, we can't. There's not going to be a fourth Reconstruction. This is at this point do or die. So that's why I understand when people are ready to battle. And I'm right with you. And this is where also I have to say that we have numbers. This is why we should not right now at this point in time. Let's lay off the bedwent shit. Let's lay off because I noticed something. Black women get chastised for being with white men. Black men, modern day age, do not get chastised with being or even dating with a white woman. So that's a whole different subject. But what I'm just trying to say right now is it's mostly Black women that got your side. That's incorrect. What's incorrect? What's incorrect? I'm talking about, if you're talking about Black women in the 80s and 90s, like my mom, I can totally agree with the fact that like Black women getting both statements. So the statement that I said about chastising Black women and calling them bed witches, because my point is, here's my point, Julius, and I'm not talking about coons. There's a difference. Like, if you want to talk about a bed wench, that's a Candace Owens. That is a bed wench. That is the Eve's a bed wench. I have to disagree with you, man. And you know, you're focused on people's personal. That's not how you start a revolution, man. I see where you're going with, but we need numbers, man. You breaking down people, and by the way, don't do that. There's a difference between like someone sleeping with someone of the opposite uh race, but but no, no. I No, it's time for a revolution. You're not starting it. It is time for a revolution. Don't sucker out now. You were talking about all that ammo, man. It is a revolution. This is the third chapter, my friend. Bed witch or bed warmer? You guys just missed the whole point of what I was talking about with starting about the whole. See, you're not staying on focus. You're not staying on. You're worried about bed witches and bell warmers, belly warmers, bell warmers. What's a bell warmer? You guys are starting to disappoint me. You're going off focus. You're going toward your focus is on stupidity rather than white supremacy. How are you going to kill? How are you going to get the the person when you're looking at like bed wench? You're like a little cat. Focus. Like, come on, brothers. Focus. I don't care about them either. I just don't understand what this bed wench and and but yeah, I don't care about that shit. If people want to love it, listen, I am one of those people. If you want to love someone and they're outside your race, you love them, but you make sure who they are because you can also be married to a coon. I've dated a couple and not realized that. So thank you very much. You have you I've dated a coon before. Not pleasant. He was pro Bush, very awkward, didn't feel very comfortable, smallest dick. And he was a lawyer. He worked at a black law firm. When he told me that he voted for, and all it was gross. He was around mostly black men. And so I did not choose him. It was a really, bruh, oh my God, but you chose him. You act like I married him and had kids with him. It's called giving a person a chance. That's what humans do. What? Like, can we think a little bit logical here? It's like you haven't dated someone and you found, and then like you tried. I am, I am owning it. That's why I'm talking about it. Oh my goodness. Okay. You own it if you talk about it. If you talk about and take about responsibilities about Rob, get smart. I'm owning it because and by the way, who have you dated all perfection? Seriously? Have you dated all it's not like I had a child out of him. I don't have any kids. I don't have a thank you birth control. No, I can like I'm a single educated woman. I can date whoever the fuck I want and it's an experience. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Don't read my book if it comes out. You'll probably not like it. Oh, honey, I said I was born in the 80s. If I was in my 20s, I'd be born in the 90s. I do remember Martin in Living Color. I had a pair of cross colors. Like, no, I'm not. But that is a compliment. Thank you, Julius. And yes, I've went on. You said you went on a date with a liar. How that? How's that working out, man? Those are the tenants. I have tenants. Hmm. But this, you have a baby mother. Wasn't meant to be like, you know, just like, there's a stigma on men who have babies' mothers. I don't judge you on that. Just like you shouldn't judge me on certain things in my dating experience. What? I have a question, and y'all gonna get mad. Why are some men? How long have I been doing this stream? 2 hours and 11 minutes. Okay. No, 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 no. I'm saying, Julius, no, you have not. What I'm trying to ask is why, actually, fuck it. Why is it some brothers feel like they can, actually, no, I'm not. Why do some brothers feel that they can judge certain black women on, their past in dating? I've noticed that, not with you per se, but what I'm just talking about is I've noticed in certain blogs and what have you, you know, we get judged on our dating. Thank you, Julius. You said that word. Thank you. And that's all. And that's it. We're cool now, brother. That's all I needed to hear from you, and you get that. So thank you. And appreciate that because there is a lot of misogyny that I noticed within the community. And like, I didn't think that it was that bad. Maybe it's just the YouTube streets, but it sounds, some of the things that I hear, it sounds very 1950 ish. It sounds very like civil rights movement when the women would do the majority of the work and the men got all the credit and the women had to stand behind and not get their names recognized. I don't, this dude is right. Well, anywho, it is late and I have been here for 2 hours. And plus, Rob, you're really making me salty. I'm starting not to like you that much. You don't talk to a lady like that. Just saying. You don't ask a lady about what she's been drinking. If you had been here earlier, you would have known. Number two, you don't say, you don't judge me. And also, if I'm, don't say, wom, wom, wom. I know Charlie Brown's teacher, I know. But there's always Pornhub. You can always go there, get a little Jergens, and have a little party for yourself. So this is this might be too smart. And I know you've been here before, but be nice. I won't bite. I swear. That's my crazy woman look. Anywho. Anyway, I'm out. Ladies and gentlemen, put a mask on. It saves lives. And yes, Corona is real. And don't listen to your president. Don't do that. And be careful. Be smart. Don't start. Take a look. It's in a book. I don't know why I did that. Au revoir.